Hello students. In this module, we're going to learn what is the blueprint, what does the blueprint represent, and we're going to separate the numbers for youth and of course wisdom, spirit, and power. So you know the ages and what those ages or different parts of the divine triangle represent. Bear with me as I explain each part, as it can be quite involved. And then on the next module, that's when we're going to start drawing a divine triangle, and I will teach you how to create your own divine triangle. I want you to see the blueprint of the divine triangle, and this of course has been the Pythagorean triangle with the golden proportion, and this is done right now with modern means, but this is what Pythagoras came from. And obviously the Pythagorean theorem today is used for in many different fields, in addition to mathematics, furniture making, architecture, civil construction, AutoCAD, computers, the market, the financial market. So there's many different things in which the divine triangle is used. And of course, when we teach math, we teach our kids, right, about the Pythagorean theorem. So, but it's just using different parts of the divine triangle. However, Pythagoras used the divine triangle for esoteric means. And so here's the divine triangle. And right now I'm just going to try to explain. I'm going to try to make this as easy as I can, because it can be quite elaborate. But pretty much the divine triangle, what it's doing is dividing your life from birth all the way until you're 81 years old. Once we are 81, as you can see in here next to A, you enter here. This is when supposedly your birth, divine inspiration, and will begin through this corner. And then you go all the way to 81. And we're going to find out what kind of events and symbols happen on different stages from 1 through 81. Now, normally this is not covered in any numerology course that I have ever seen. As a matter of fact, I know they have soul contract courses that go up to $3,000 just to cover some of this material here. If you want to do more research, you can always find more research online. And so please stay with me, because it can be quite elaborate. Right now I'm going to explain what do the numbers and corners mean, or the letters mean, and what kind of events can happen, what does youth, power, wisdom mean, all that, all those things that you're seeing here. So as you can see from the blueprint, the cross was also the enter here. So coming down here, that will be the spirit, and that's when the spirit comes into the material world, which is where we live, and that's the birth of a person. And we as human beings are stationed at the corner point where the two lines meet. At this point, we're recipients of the cosmic energy, and these points represent an aspect of consciousness. The soul enters the body at point A and immediately begins its journey along the path, which for the first 9 years will cover line A through B. So it will be from here to here. These are the first 9 years of life. And you can see he says 0 and he says 9 here. Then he turns the corner at B and continues from B to C. And these will be the years from 9 through 18. Upon reaching 18, then turns and travels line CD for another 9 years. You can see it goes from 18 to 27. The first square AVCD or AVDC has been formed, as you can see here. In this period of time, from 80 to 27, is when your mind and your character are being formed. In psychology and medicine, we can see this, of course. Plato said that one gains one's soul at age 28. Astrologers normally agree with this, as it is known that that's how long it takes for Saturn to complete one return. As you can see, the soul at point D, for the first time since entering the physical body, touches the fire of the spirit. Therefore, between the ages of 27 and 29, we are normally in a precarious position. This is the first time that the soul comes in contact with the fire of the spirit, and we are aware of that it's entering the body. It is at this age that normally we start to make decisions that can determine or transmute our fire or spirit. Those can be painful or burning experiences, if we're still bound to the past and past conditionings, or we cannot let go of those habits or opinions or beliefs that can restrict and encase the past. But also can be a time in which we use experiences and learning as a firm structure upon to which build our future. So with this, we have established what is called the youth square and the divine triangle, which is this square over here. Now let's go to the next one. The power square, which is the next one. As you can see, it starts in D on 27 years old. Has its foundation line in the horizontal side of the right triangle with the value of 4, a number related to the earth. This implies that between the ages of 27 and 54, our life is spent dealing with the material plane and all that it encompasses. I think we can agree with that. Certainly, we can agree that most of us spend that portion of our lives using whatever power we have in striving for material gains and comforts in the form of job positions, salaries, housing, and personal possessions. So each of those with an aspect of the material plane. It is normal that we do this since we chose to incarnate in a material body to learn the lessons of the earth plane. And it is here in the power square that we are most in touch with this particular learning process. You will note, however, that this square is a result of the square of the mind. The earth plane is the baseline of this square, but the mind is the overseer. Remember, you can see that there's a triangle right here. Remember when we talk about the square being the body material, earth, and then the triangle being the mind. It is with the mind that we create our environment during this time. In this time span between the ages of 27 and 54, that we are free of psychological restrictions and childhood conditionings of the youth square, and we are free to make decisions about what or which way we want our lives to go. You know, the Bible says that as a man thinketh, so he is, and we cannot deny the profound effect that a positive attitude has upon the direction of our lives. What we see is the result of the way that you think. Let's look at age 54. At age 54, which is the second building block right here under G, has been completed, and the individual has established a body and a mind. We are known by the way we look and by the way we think. However, notice that age 54 we are experiencing the same transitional phenomenon we did at age 27. So you might find some similarities. This point roughly corresponds to the second complete Saturn return. We will have the same choices and results we confronted between the ages of 27 and 29. Here again at 54, for the second time in our life, we come in direct contact with the center triangle of the spirit, our own true inner self. If we have not shone widely in the past, this is a point in which we can easily make the decision again to change our direction. The wisdom square, which is the structure of the soul, is built upon the line assigned the value 5, or Mercury number. The ages 54 to 81, which the wisdom square encompasses, is a period of life given for introspection. We reflect upon the past, its failures and accomplishments, the present, and we start facing some of the issues that might come in the future, such as death and immortality of the soul. So now, think about this. In the youth square, mind was formed and conditioned and expanded. In the power square, mind had to operate in the world of its own, a single independent entity. And now in the wisdom square, the mind must analyze the results of the soul's evolution through its various stages. For those of us who live through this square and reach the magic age of 81, there is a three-pronged fork at which we must choose a future path. As you can see, the wisdom square ends on 81. And on 81, that's when we are going to have to make another decision. We're coming back again to the beginning. In the next module, we're going to explain how to place your birth name and birthday on the divine triangle and discover the events which you will experience in this lifetime. The life theorem of Pythagoras is the basis of the divine triangle, and as you can see, his right triangle is the foundation upon which each one of the squares is built. This information, which is not in a lot of numerology tests, it is known to be or have been published. It's very difficult that you have seen published before. It was part of some of the writings, mostly destroyed, in the fabulous library of Alexandria many centuries ago. Perhaps this method was taught to Pythagoras' disciples before the burning. Regardless of whatever you believe, the blueprint does work, and in my mind is valid. You can make up your mind after you do your own blueprint and try for yourself and see what you think. Alright, in the next video we're really starting to label and drawing our blueprint. It might take a few videos to go through it, but hang in there. You're gonna love it. I'll see you soon.